Hey everyone, Alan with the Magic Minute here, where we take tricks and turn them into real magic. In today's video, we're doing another director's commentary. So if you've seen a couple of these, I've done a few on Brian's channel already through my appearances. We're going to be doing a lot more. I got the go-ahead to do these kind of videos anytime I have a little something to add, even if it's another magician that's on the program. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to that. But today we're actually talking about the center tear. This is the foundation, the basis for all mentalism magic. It's the backbone of everything. And I have some thoughts. I actually have a lot of thoughts, so let's go ahead and dig in. Alright, so thank you so much for checking out my channel. If this is your first time here, let me be the first to welcome you. I do videos like this every single Thursday at noon. That could be tutorials, or that could be little opinion pieces or pieces of advice. Could be these directors' commentaries. You never know. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to find out more about my world and what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon. That way you're notified that the second I put up a new video. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to bring up was the location. We were at the Crowded Barrel at a place called Fang and Feather. This is a super cool place. Apparently it's the very first crowd-funded whiskey distillery in the world. And we actually had one of the co-founders, that was Rex, that helped me with the little mentalism stuff. And he is a super cool guy. Got to hang out with him a couple of nights before. I was down in Austin for about a week, and we had interacted a couple of times before then. But super fun to check out his place. If you guys are in the Austin area, I definitely recommend going and checking out the Crowded Barrel. Super cool place and great whiskey. Okay, and Rex Williams also has a YouTube channel called Whiskey Tribe, which I think is the largest whiskey-related channel on YouTube. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you check out his channel. I'll leave a card up here. Okay, I can imagine all of the questions that you probably have about this routine and performing it. There's a lot of things that, of course, go very smoothly because they're supposed to on Brian's channel and other channels where you're learning magic. But there are a lot of things that I know people are just going, but what about this? What if the audience does that? Why did that work that way, or how can I make it work better? I have answers to all of the questions, I would guess, but if I miss something, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your questions, and I'm small enough that I can respond to you guys, so every single one of you. So leave your comments down below. So the first question I'm going to address is, why do people have to write anything down? If you're a mind reader, why does anybody have to write anything down? Well, ostensibly, it's to show everyone else what that person's thinking. So let's say I'm having my mind read, and I have my friend there, and the mind reader says, "Hey, let's go ahead and read your mind and whatever." And well, I could change my mind without anything written down on a piece of paper or being able to tell my friend what I'm thinking of. There's no way for my friend to know if the mind reader got it right, and I can make the mind reader look really silly by just changing my mind last minute. So having that on a piece of paper means that it is, if you need to go back to it and piece it together, you can prove as the mind reader that you actually read their mind. Or, if you want to be more charitable, that everyone else in the group who's watching the magic or mentalism can appreciate and enjoy the same thing at the same time as that one person. You want to make it a large group activity instead of just a one-on-one with everybody else spectating. So that's why you write it down. Do you have to fold the paper? Yes. And there's a couple of reasons for this, but mostly it's just to give the appearance of fairness. But there's another nice little touch, which we didn't get to go talk about on Scam Nation, but that's after they folded it. To get the paper back, or to justify getting the paper back, you can take the piece from them. Whenever you do this here, this is the universal sign for gimme. People will just automatically hand you the thing without really thinking about it. And then so you go, "Hey, look, can you see it?" You hold it up to a light source, you turn your head away, and you go, "Can you see through that?" No, there's no way that I can then, right? And then that's when you start tearing it. Actually, go ahead and hold on to the pieces, burn them in an ashtray, whatever it is, put them in your drink, stir it around, just destroy the pieces in some way. Sometimes what I do, if I don't have any of those options available, I'll just rip up the pieces and I'll just put them in my back pocket, make a little joke about it, say, "Oh, what's the name of that pocket? Oh, the butt pocket, right? Yeah, they're going to be in my butt pocket. I'm going to read your mind through my butt pocket." Whatever you want to do. But you have to get a hold of those pieces. If you just go, "Hey, give me," but then whenever you have the pieces, you're extremely fair and open with it, that it's obvious that you can't see anything, and you can even justify it by saying, "Look, can you see through that?" No, of course you can't. You're totally fine. There's nothing to worry about. people will hand you back the pieces as long as you are not looking super suspicious and down at your fingers a lot and looking at the packet. No one's going to suspect that you're doing anything funny. Another reason you could say or justify it, if you're not real comfortable with taking the pieces from them like that and you feel like you need like some kind of patter hook, something you can do is you can say, I don't want to see the pieces, but I need to feel them. You kind of go like a pseudo psychometry. Not that's actually a routine, but doing a like a psychometry thing. You know, you hold, oh, this was your grandmother's locket, and her name was Agnes, and all this stuff. You get all this information from a piece of or an object or something. Holding onto that paper could be how you are receiving the information. You're receiving it through a tactile sense instead of a visual sense, and that's just as amazing. So Rex guessed exactly how I did it, and that's a lesson for you not to get too sure of yourself or too full of yourself. I had to eat a little humble pie there, but the thing is, he didn't know for sure. It was an educated guess based on all of his experience hanging out with Brian and being on Scam Nation. He's seen a lot of magic, and he is much more initiated and educated in magic technique than your average person. So don't let Rex's perception and he rolled a natural 20 on that, but most people won't have any idea what you're doing, so don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Drawing the circle. So you notice in the video, I draw a circle around the line where they write their little piece of information. Brian suggests that you bring some patter in about making it a TV tube or something, or there's some patter reason that it's there. I guess for some people it makes them feel more comfortable. As a mentalist, I do full-on mentalism shows. I've never felt like I needed to excuse it, or I mean, it's just kind of like a little gesture thing. Nobody really even thinks about it. It's a subtle thing. For me, it's the whole argument, don't run when you're not being chased. Nobody cares why you drew a circle there. Sometimes people do that to emphasize the importance of drawing your attention to the space, or saying, hey, look, don't miss it. Here it is, just in case you missed the line. Here it is too, so you don't write it on the outside and fold it up and have the information on the outside. Don't run when you're not being chased. I don't think it's necessary to have any patter or excuse why that there's a circle there. It's not that suspicious in the first place, so I wouldn't even worry about it. But if you are worried about it, yeah, you can use a patter like it's on a television screen, or you're seeing it, imagine it on a big movie screen like Bob Cassidy used to say. If that's makes you more comfortable, then definitely go that way. But for me personally, I don't think it's necessary. Something else you can do with this is just obtain the information secretly and then reveal it later. If you have the pieces and they're all, or you have that circle piece and you can read all the information on it, and all the other pieces are destroyed, nobody knows anything's missing, you can walk off and write down that information. David Blaine did that with ashes on the forearm, if you guys remember that during his, I think it was his first magic special. He used information that he got from a center tear to reveal the name on his forearm with the ash from the burning, which is a perfect way to do it. It's super cool. So think about obtaining that information, then not having to necessarily reveal it right away, but at a lighter time with a bigger impact. Something else Brian did was he did the circle tear out and then tore up the rest of the pieces in similar chunks. That's a fine way to do it, but one of the reasons I like to do it in the strips is when you do it in the circle, sometimes people will use the full space, and you might tear a center out of that and leave information on the sides. If you tear it like I show in the strips, you're going to get that full center section, and you're not going to miss any word or letter on either side of that strip. So either way is fine. If you find that the person writes small enough, or you're not really worried about it, you think you can infer the rest of the information based on what you already see on the paper, then don't worry about it. But if you do it in the big long strips, you're going to get more of the information for sure. And if you do it smaller, it does look more natural than tearing gentle, neat strips and just kind of like chunk it up. That looks far more natural. But the danger you run there is that you miss pieces of information. Sometimes you will run into an issue where what they write or they draw on the piece of paper is not legible. Uh-oh, what do you do? So the way that you can manage that, or try to manage that, is to say, hey, in a second we might use this information you write down as proof, and I certainly want everyone else in the group to know what you're thinking, so write it in big block letters, make it nice and clear. That way everybody can read it. Alternatively, if you can't even do that, just try to match whatever they did. Try to draw whatever they wrote as close as you can, and they'll recognize it. Most people that saw the paper will recognize it too. Okay, so that was a lot of information to get through, and I try to do it as quickly as possible. But if I missed anything, I want to hear from you guys down below. Leave a comment with your question, and luckily, we're small enough of a channel right now where I can respond individually to you guys. Chances are there's a lot of people in the community already who have been helping answer each other's questions. So if I don't get to it, I'm sure someone else in the community will. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Cheers. Also, by the way, Brian does not smell like hot dog water. He smells like hot links water.